Welcome to Global Business. I am Imewari Oyamokai. Now, we are in the economic nerve center of Nigeria, talking about the city of excellence, the center of excellence. It's Lagos. Yes, and we're in Lagos talking about non-oil export. The PDF2 program, which is a DFID, you know the DFID is the UK program, a development program in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, but across Africa and developing countries, to develop non-oil export for Nigeria. That's PDF2 program. And what better time to introduce the non-oil export program in Nigeria than now? Of course, because this is the time Nigeria is losing already from oil. So, of course, we are here supporting and knowing what the PDF program is doing for non-oil exporters. And one of the things that happened at this program right here in Lagos, Eco Hotel Lagos, is the launch of a network. For the first time in Nigeria, you have a unified network of all non-oil exporters. So you'll be listening to panelists and, of course, speakers at this event. It's a special program today from Lagos Center of Excellence, and we're talking diversifying the Nigerian economy, non-oil export. What does it take to be an exporter? You want to export goods? You want to export services? You want to sit back, relax, be educated, and learn from this program. Welcome.
Have you missed out on any of the editions of Global Business? Then what are you waiting for? Visit our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Global Business on AIT, to catch up on all episodes of Global Business. Also, do follow us on Twitter at Ine Ohayen and our Facebook page, Global Business on AIT, for more info on Global Business. You can also send us a mail, globalbusinessonait@gmail.com, for feedback and enquiries.
Good day. Welcome to African Business Proverbs, where we draw inspiration from the wisdom in African proverbs. They have been there over the years, and we believe that steeped in them are inspiring words that could help you achieve your targets in business and in life generally. The proverb we have today is from Somaliland, and it says, "Be a mountain or lean on one." In life and in business, everyone needs a mentor. It's recommended that where you're not able to stand firmly on your own, look around you, seek. You will definitely find those who are already achieving in your line of business or career. Go meet them. Be humble enough to ask questions. Like the Igbo proverb would say, a person that asks questions does not miss his way. Ask questions and you'll get good answers, and be reasonable enough to determine which of those answers apply to your particular situations. So we recommend to you that you think about what we just said today. Our proverb for today is, be a mountain or lean on one. Get mentors in life, in marriage, in family, in business, in your career. Get a mentor. Be a mountain or lean on one. Think about it. This is our proverb for today. Have a great day.
Nigeria is clamoring for diversity of the economy. We cannot do it by having just small farm, as in the farm in Nigeria. The only way, as it is in Ghana, is to have more farms, because in Ghana, all the farms for particular produce, for example, let's say mango or orange or whatever, they have a large producers among them. There are so many of them, let's say there are 50, 60 amongst them that are producing one export crop. And so at the end of the day, if one runs out of is because in EU or in America, when you sign a MOU with them, you cannot see that stock. You must always maintain or honor MOU. And so they have a way of collaborating among themselves. At least they can pick from each other. Presently, I am the only one in Nigeria who I pick from. Nobody. So it becomes a very big challenge. And so I'm happy that I'm in a forum like this. I'm so happy that we have government agencies around present. These are some of the challenges we are facing as a nation. If we must diversify the economy, I'm saying, one, we must find a way to raise standard and bring standard to the grassroots. Because it's most unfortunate that most of the funds are visited as a form of, should I say, unassigned consultant now, to make them able to see what it means to export. Of course, everyone wants to export their produce, but unfortunately, they are so far from what is required in terms of standard and certification. They are so far from it.
Talking about good agricultural practice, I also attended a program with a consultant helping with global gas education in 2016, and he gave a statistic. 2016, global certified producer and exporter, Kenya 1,846, Ghana 124, Cameroon 9, Burkina Faso 146, Cote d'Ivoire 355, Egypt 671. South Africa 1,797, Nigeria 0. Sincerely, I'm excited that you're able to get it. Can you put hands together for you? It's most unfortunate that we did not, but you've been able to ensure that, and I think it becomes easier for others to be able to follow suit. If you have done it, I believe a lot of other people can do it. Can you put hands together for him once again? Yes, Mr. Kola, can we hear from you? Can you speak to the topic? Let me hear from you.
Thank you very much. Let me stand on the existing protocol. When we're looking at export finance is very key in export. That's no doubt about that. And I believe the CBN has a lot of export intervention. The question is how many people have been able to access this intervention. I'm talking about finance. We should also look at the other side of it, which is the receipt of the export proceed. What kind of documents, payment terms are Nigerian exporters entry into now? It is a given today that it's very difficult for you to find any SME being given an LC to be able to export, which is one of the most secure, not 100%. It has its own different types, most secure types of payment. What we have today is collection payments for almost all export done by SMEs, and I want to be truthful, almost all. And these have put a lot of exporters at a colossal losses. You ship your goods, payment is on collection basis. Sometimes they refuse to take the goods because they don't really have money again. Sometimes they tell you that it's not to the quality, so they cannot pay. And a lot of money have been lost along that line among the SME export. So looking at export finance, if you finance an export and the exporter is not able to get a preferred payment terms, that simply goes back to the same problem that we're facing. We should move to having a place where exporters can have secure payment terms. Secure payment terms. I have a member that lost 4 containers of sesame seed to a Turkish importer, $240,000. That is colossal, and it's not the first one. There are many more like that. Nigerians, entrepreneurs are eager to go into the business of export, but the security in terms of payment is not there among every other thing. So payment is very secure. We should look at that payment terms and also look at the financing option. Finance should be opened up for SMEs and make more flexible, a little bit flexible. The idea of CBN giving out direct loans to the PFIs, to the exporters, we should find a way of looking at that and see how we can make it easy for them. The direct funding from Nexim is even better. The 50 billion direct funding from Nexim, all is okay. But from the PFI, it's very difficult because of the requirements that they put in place. Now let's look at the market entry strategy. That is the major issue. And if we look at all Nigerian documents, the diversification effort documents, aside from NEPC, that is linking up the various diversification interventions with export. There is no other agency that is doing that. And NDPC I see as a council, there is also dealing with too much responsibilities, responsibility without the correlating financial support. I'm of the view that NDPC should move away. If you're having NDPC to promote dollar export, and all they do is promotions and development, there is no way they can achieve success in market linkages, because all they have to do is they promote you, they develop you, and then they look at you. The little they can do in terms of market linkage is very little. So they have to move away. NDPC, they are a trade facilitation agency, despite the fact that they promote oil. NIMASA, they are a trade facilitation agency, despite the fact that they do that. So they need to move away from that so that the linkages for market can be there, and the promotion of export can be there.
PDF2 non-oil exports, and with the NPEN launch today, as the program manager for PDF2 in Nigeria, how does this make you feel?
I'm very excited and very hopeful for the future of this network that has been launched today. It represents the culmination of 3.5 years of work that PDF2 has supported in the area of trade in Nigeria, and we're really hopeful that this network will become a sustainability mechanism for all that work and the achievements so far. We're hopeful that through the network, much more will be gained in terms of making the right policies that will enable exports from the non-oil sectors of Nigeria that will drive growth. We're hopeful that in that wise, through these networks, we will be able to access finance, for example. The network has made links with the central bank, and there's an intervention fund that they're working on. We're hopeful also that through shared experiences as a community of practice and studies that will have been done and that will be done going into the future, there'll be a lot of evidence and information that will enable the real businesses out there to actually begin to meet standards and access markets that they weren't able to before. Furthermore, we're hopeful that, as I said, it will be a platform of dialogue with policymakers, so that we have the enabling environment that will grow the businesses and therefore grow Nigeria's economy in an export-led way that is not focused on oil.
You are the facilitator of this, so one is tempted to ask, what next after this for your program?
So PDF finishes on the 31st of March 2020, in about 25 days from today. But this will not end. As I said, the network itself becomes a sustainability mechanism so that the work continues. But more than that, DFID Nigeria is hoping to continue to support this piece of work in whatever form. We do know that there is a successor program planned to come up in maybe a couple of years, and in the interim there's a bridge program that's planned that was announced by the head of office at last month. That bridge program is starting, and it's one of the areas that they will be looking at and potentially supporting in the future. There's a lot of pockets of support available for this piece of work and for this area as a whole, because obviously exporting and diversification away from oil has become not just a government agenda, but a priority and an imperative for this economy. So there's going to be more work and more help to come.
This event that has taken place, you launched the NPEN and you gave a keynote address, and there are some take-homes from this. What would be your own take-home from this event?
We cannot have enough bodies exporting. My call is for increased productivity and production all across the sectors of Nigeria, so we can really become an export-led economy. So this is good, and that's why we support it. That we want this group to grow and to spread the message of exporting, all over Nigeria.
Now, this is like a network of all exporters, and it's the first time it's happening in Nigeria. How do you see?
Not really the first time. We have different groups.
That's what it's a network of all of them.
All of them, yeah.
Yes, come together as one. That's why I'm asking. What do you think? What's the future? What do you think of the future concerning this group's engagement with government? Considering the fact that it's a collection of
it will be a powerful advocacy group that will help NEPC itself, make demands to government on what we can do to help increase exports all over Nigeria. So that is why and I'm here to support them. I'm glad they gave me the privilege and honor of launching the group itself. So that is very good.
What is the NEPC doing concerning capacity building? We know some banks that are giving, like the CBN through the NISAL MFB, have the small and medium enterprise loans, but they always emphasize that the people must go through training, entrepreneurial training.
No, capacity development is, of course, it's huge because if without the knowledge, without the know-how, you are just going to be throwing money away. But the Nigeria has really thought that out, because in the NEDEP program, the National Enterprise Development Program run by SMEDAN, it calls for SMEDAN to identify the SMEs, give them to the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, to train. From there, move them to BOI for loans. So that is the way it should be. There must be a huge entrepreneurial capacity development program before you venture into this business. We do a lot of training, human capacity development training for many of our exporters. And we tell them to, look, get this training first on your business, on the product, on the shipping and the logistics for your product. Just know it, because it's going to help you not to default on loans when you eventually get money to start up your business. So capacity development is huge. And that is the message we're going to let this network also preach to the various exporters.
Have you missed out on any of the editions of Global Business? Then what are you waiting for? Visit our YouTube channel, youtube.com/globalbusiness on AIT, to catch up on all episodes of Global Business. Also, do follow us on Twitter at Ine Ohio and our Facebook page, Global Business on AIT, for more info on global business. You can also send us a mail, globalbusinessonait@gmail.com, for feedback and enquiries.
Agriculture is one of the major, focus of the Nigerian government when it comes to exports. What would you say are the major bottlenecks or challenges in agri-exports in Nigeria?
Well, if you ask me to name the first, I would say is a lack of awareness of the processes involved in the export of agricultural produce. We are largely unaware on the part of the farmers who are producing, and on the part of virtually everybody along the value chain, that it has become a major impediment to good agricultural export. There are conditions in the cost of production, in the cost of transportation, haulage, warehousing, processing, up to the point of export desk certification. And in virtually all those units in the value chain, you find out that people are not primarily aware of what they should do at a particular point in time. They are not aware of the international standards that are involved in those processes. And in some places, they don't just know what to do. So we encourage that everybody who wants to go into export, which is not an all-commerce affair anyway, to first of all find out exactly what does it entail to be in the export business. I think if most exporters or farmers know exactly what is involved, then it will help, to encourage free export, so to say, that those exports will not be rejected and they can make good money from those exports. Because let's not just say because I'm a farmer, I don't export, so I don't need to know what is involved. You need to know what is involved so that you can produce to meet the export requirement. Even the person transporting, how do you transport the agricultural produce to ensure that it is safe? The warehouse manager, if he is not ready to sell to the aggregate buyer, how does he know how to preserve the grains or the agricultural produce until it is exported? How about the cold chain in the cost of storage and transportation? So all these things matter. And we must necessarily know what is involved in those stages to be able to successfully export without any rejection.
Now, one of the issues you raised in the panel or when they were speaking was the issue of people paying money to those who clearing agents. That not necessarily comes to you as an agency. So, can people directly come to the quarantine agency or they must go through clearing agents?
They can come directly to us. We have more than 60 stations nationwide. We have 6 zonal offices, and we have decentralized our import permit system. And you can walk into any of those places. In fact, you can choose to even do it online.
So why do people keep going to clearing agents if they could come directly to you? Are there bottlenecks in your own agency that are stopping them from coming directly?
No. You know, in the economy, there are what we call division of labor. There is room for clearing agents in any kind of business as long as it has to do with movement from one place to another. So they have a specific role to play. Insurance have a specific role to play. So some people don't want to even come to us at all. The major big time players, they will say, oh, we already have an agent. Let him finish with quarantine and go ahead and then finish with the export. So they do it as a package, or those people will come and tell them, and most times they're not the accredited licensed clearing agents, because when we have issues with them, the address they give to us is not traceable. That's where we now go to know that, oh, they are not. And maybe the major exporter or the major producer or exporter did not know that this man is not genuine. We have cases like that. We try to trace them, even to go to court. We cannot locate them. You heard of the story. Somebody exporting as much as 12 containers of cashew to Vietnam, and then he sent it. It didn't come through quarantine. I mean, why would he do that? I'm sure he understands the value of the total cost of 12 containers of cashew nuts.
There was even the popular story of the tubers of yam.
The one of the tubers of yam too, he didn't come through quarantine. The guy who took his to US had no problem. Because he insisted that because the minister said everybody must go to, in fact, as I'm talking to you right now, there's a specimen carton of yam of somebody exporting to Taraba. We just want to bring it so that we can showcase it to farmers and export that, look, let's all do things the right way.
It's been an exciting session looking at non-oil export. What would you say are your take-homes from these sessions?
There's some excellent points made earlier today about the need for our bankers to focus more on how they can help exporters. The normal formula in the banks where they look to lend money at commercial rates without fully understanding the different nuances involved in export was really brought to bear. Our bankers should effectively have an export desk the same way they have an oil desk. So that focus was a very important point today.
Now, looking at that financing and looking at bankers, there's been this issue of the fact that bankers are not professional enough beyond creating that desk. Some are of the view that this challenge is from the Apex Bank itself, the CBN, rather than from the commercial banks. What's your own view on that?
Well, you know, when we talk about setting up an export desk, it has to be manned by export professionals. So the same way they would have oil professionals on the oil desk, they should have export professionals on the export desk. Now, whether the CBN, the Apex Bank, can push the bankers in order to have that export desk that can push this export policy, yes, the Apex Bank does have certain policies and facilities directly for exporters, but the understanding of the export business is where we have a problem. So the CBN does have an export focus, but at the level of the banks, there still needs to be a greater understanding of the export business.
It brings to professionalism and being a professional in banking before going into the business, or would it be better if those who are trained by the non-oil exporters come into the banks as bankers?
Or it could work either way, really. Either way would be good enough.
Thank you very much. What's your take home as on behalf of the National Assembly from this event?
I think it's a very good day. I have been inspired all day to listen to all the participants from a wide array. I call them stakeholders: farmers, exporters, government agency, workers. I think if we could just have a communique out of today's proceedings and have them distilled into a policy paper for government to follow, we'll be on our way. You see, the country doesn't have any time again to lose, or to waste rather, because we have wasted so much time in terms of trade. Trade is a two-way thing when you have a trading partner. When you have four, it's a four-way thing. So if we are a Nigerian country that is known for just being the buyer or consumer, it's a very bad label. It means we're going to be a dump for all the products. And that is what we have to avoid in this new AFCFTA coming up. Because if you are trading and you are not getting your act together to fight back by selling your own products, it only means what? You be buying from the other trading partners. That is what we've been doing so far, up until now.
What do you think the National Assembly can do in laws that can back up the policies that may come up from this?
Okay, thank you. Since the government is the coordinating agent, or rather agency for all that people said today, if you are discussing standards for those who are buying the items overseas, government agencies here should know and try to guide the exporters that you are producing this item, it should be to this quality. If you are talking about logistics, transportation, shipping, road transport, controlled atmosphere for the item in transit, who should be in charge of all this monitoring and enforcement? It is government. So if they do all these things and have them in a compendium or a policy paper, we can make sure it becomes law for the government to now enforce or implement. That's what we can do.
Have you missed out on any of the editions of Global Business? Then what are you waiting for? Visit our YouTube channel, youtube.com/globalbusiness on AIT to catch up on all episodes of Global Business. Also, do follow us on Twitter at Ime Ohio and our Facebook page, Global Business on AIT, for more info on global business. You can also send us a mail, globalbusinessonaIT@gmail.com, for feedback and enquiries.
Okay, so this is where we wrap it up on Global Business. Today, we've brought you speakers, voices from the Non-Oil Export Conference and awards happening right here in Lagos. Now, I hope you have learned a lot about what it takes to export from Nigeria. The first thing, or the things we have taken away from this conference is, one, the fact that there is need for capacity building. Two, finance doesn't solve every problem. In fact, when you put finance or money into a problem that has other issues, you're actually making the problem bigger, escalating the problem. That's Global Business today. I'm Imewari Uhiamokai. Always nice doing business with you. Let's do business again next week.